Okay, really lucky here to make up for that awful DDR flaw. 20-minute joke. Oh, okay, you want the 20-minute joke? You guys want the story, the 20-minute joke? Okay. Okay, I'll tell you guys the story of the Blue Flame. So, this is the story of the Blue Flame. My boyfriend is about to close out of the stream, because he's heard it before. The story of the Blue Flame. So once there was a boy, and he was on the bus on the way to school. And he heard two boys in front of him on the bus talking about a story that he got really engrossed in their story. And they were talking about the story of the Blue Flame. Now he was really, really obsessed with this story. Like, he was fully listening to it. And it made him late for school. So he got to school over an hour late. Now, when he got to school, he walked into his classroom and his teacher asked him, hey, dude, why are you late? You're over an hour late. And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. You won't believe me. Let me just take my punishment. And she was like, you know what? If you tell me the truth and you're honest with me about why you were late, I won't punish you. So he tells her, I was on the bus and I heard two boys talking about the story of the Blue Flame. And I got distracted, I missed my stop, and it made me late for school. And the teacher, her eyes went fiery red. The Blue Flame! The Blue Flame! You do not talk about that in my classroom. Get down to the principal's office right now. The boy was shocked. She had just broken her promise, but he understands he's got to be punished for being late, so he goes down to the principal's office. The principal asks him, so why have you been sent down here, and don't lie to me? And the boy said, well, to be honest, I heard two boys on the bus talking about the story of the Blue Flame, and it made me late for class, and the teacher sent me down here. And the principal, he started sweating profusely, vein popping out of his forehead. The Blue Flame? The Blue Flame? No student of mine talks about the Blue Flame. You go home right now. And the boy was really shocked. So he walked home in the sleet, the thunder, in the sleet, the thunder, and the rain, and got soaking wet. And his mum was at home, and she asked him, why are you home from school already? And he told her, I got sent home because I heard a boy on the bus talking about the Blue Flame, and it made the teacher sent me to the principal's office, and it made the principal sent me home in the sleet, thunder, and rain, and I got soaking wet. And his mum, she got really angry. No son of mine will ever talk about the Blue Flame under my roof. You go outside right now, wait for your dad to get home from work, and he can deal with this. So he does. He waits outside, again, in the bad weather, for his dad to get home, and he's really confused now. So his dad asks him, why are you out here waiting for me? Come in the house. And he said, well, Mum sent me out of the house. And he said, why would your mum send you out of the house? So he told his dad. He heard two boys talking about the story of the Blue Flame and made him late to school, and his teacher sent him to the principal's office, and his principal sent him home in the sleet, thunder, and rain, where he got soaking wet, and then he told his mum, and she kicked him out onto the sidewalk. And his dad got really, really, really angry. The Blue Flame? The Blue Flame? No, you're not going to live in my house. I'm kicking you out. You are disowned. You do not talk about the Blue Flame. And the boy was really confused. So now the boy is a poor homeless boy living on the street, out of a cardboard box, waiting for passers-by to give him money. And he asks the passerby for money, and the passerby says, you're only like 14 years old. How are you homeless? And he told them, I was on the bus and I heard this boy talking about the Blue Flame, and it made me late for school, and I told my teacher and she sent me to the principal's office, and I told the principal and he sent me home in the sleet, thunder and rain, and I got soaking wet, and I told my mum and she kicked me out, and I told my dad and he kicked me out, and now I'm here, on the sidewalk, homeless, begging for money. The passerby got infuriated. The Blue Flame, the Blue Flame, you can't even say that on this street. And he called the police on the boy. So the police came, a cab by the way, the police came and they put him in the back of their car and were driving him to the police office. And they asked him on the way there, why are you being called the police on? Like, you haven't done anything wrong, surely, you're just a 14-year-old kid. And he told them, listen, I listened to two boys talking about the Blue Flame, and I told my teacher and she sent me to the principal's office. I told the principal, he sent me home in the sleet, thunder and rain where I got soaking wet. I told my mum, she kicked me out. I told my dad, he kicked me out. I told a passerby and they called the police on me. And the police stopped dead on a bridge over a river, and they took him out of the car and threw him off the bridge, said, the death penalty is not even good enough for you. You don't talk about the Blue Flame. So the boy gets picked up by a boat going through the river, and the captain brings him on board and offers him a job. He's just a 14-year-old kid. He fished him out of a river, so he gives him a job on the boat working so that he can actually like have some kind of comfortable life. And a year later, the captain says to the boy, so, it's about time I ask you, what were you doing in the river? You can tell me about it. And the boy said, no, I've had enough. I'm not going to tell anyone about it. I've got a nice life now. I'm living it comfortably. I just want to get on with it. And the captain said, well, I'm sorry, but, I'm giving you a job here. You can at least tell me what happened. So the boy was honest with him. He said to him, well, I was on the bus and I heard two boys talking about the blue flame. I told my teacher, she sent me to the principal's office. I told the principal, he sent me home in the sleet, thunder and rain where I got soaking wet. I told my mum, she kicked me out. I told my dad, he kicked me out. A passerby called the police on me when I was begging for money, and the police threw me off the bridge where you fished me out of the river. And the captain said, the blue flame, no one who works on my boat will talk about the blue flame, and threw him off of the boat. So the boy is now floating in the ocean, being kicked off of the boat where he had a job for the last year. He was living finally a comfortable life, but he washes up on a desert island. Now, on the desert island, he finds an old lady walking over to him. And the old lady says to him, wow, I've been the only one here for years. What are you doing here? And the boy said, no, I'm not telling anyone. You're just going to throw me back into the ocean or something if I tell you. I'm just going to try and live a life on this island, dab dab. So the old lady said, look, you can tell me anything. So the boy told her, I was on the bus and I heard some boys talking about the blue flame, made me late for school. The teacher sent me to the principal's office. The principal sent me home in the sleet, thunder and rain where I got soaking wet. I told my mum, she kicked me out. I told my dad, he kicked me out. I told a passerby I was begging for money. He called the police on me. I told the police they threw me off a bridge. A captain fished me out of a river, gave me a job, and a year later found out and kicked me off the boat. And I'm back here on this desert island. And the old lady looked at him and said, oh, that's unfortunate. This was the first time the boys ever had this reaction to this story. Are you not going to say the blue flame, and throw me back into the ocean or stab me with a toothpick or something? And the old lady said, oh no boy, the blue flame ruined my life too, I know all about it. Finally, the boy might actually have some answers for this blue flame thing that's ruining his life, and he asked the old lady to tell him about it. And the old lady said, well, in the middle of this island is a big green hill. At the top of that big green hill is a hatch, and down the hatch and down some ladders and some corridors, you'll find a big door, and behind that door is the answer to the blue flame. The boy was astounded. Take me to this hill, he said. I need to find out what's ruined my life. So the old lady does. She takes him to this big, huge green hill with a hatch at the top and says, just go into this hatch, go down some stairs, down some corridors, you'll get to a big metal door, open that door, dab, and behind that big metal door is the answer to the blue flame. So the boy opens the hatch, and he climbs down some stairs, and goes down a corridor, and then down the corridor and down some stairs, and 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 down the corridor and down some stairs, down the corridor and down some stairs, and down the corridor and down some stairs, and he got to this big metal door, and he was so happy. Behind this big metal door is the answer to the blue flame, the thing that's been ruining his life and just taking it apart since he was 14 years old. He put his hand on the handle and takes a deep breath in. Finally, I'm going to get some answers. And he tries to push the handle down, and the door's locked. He doesn't have a key to open the door. There's a big keyhole. The old lady must have the key. So he goes back up the corridor and up some stairs and 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 up the corridor and up some stairs. And he tells the old lady, I need a key. And she was like, oh, I knew I forgot to give you something. Here, boy, take this key and that will open the door for you. So he does. Oh, did I just mess up? No, I'm good. And he takes the key and goes back down the corridor and down some stairs and 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 down the corridor and down some stairs, down the corridor and down some stairs and down the corridor and down some stairs and down the corridor and down some stairs, and he gets back to the big metal door. And now he's got the key. Wait, he doesn't have the key. He dropped it on his way down. He doesn't have the key in his pocket anymore. So he goes back up the corridor and up some stairs and up the corridor and searches the corridor and goes up some stairs and up the corridor and searches the corridor and goes up some stairs, and he finds the key. This time, he holds it firmly in his hand. He's not going anywhere. And he goes back down the corridor and down some stairs and down the corridor and down some stairs and down the corridor and down some stairs. And finally, he's at the big metal door. Key in hand. He puts the key in the door, turns it, it clunks. The door is unlocked. He pushes the handle down and the door opens just a tiny bit. He feels a breeze from inside the door. Behind this door is the blue flame, the answer to all of his problems. So he takes a deep breath in. Finally, he opens the door, takes a look inside the room, and he dies. And that's the blue flame story. It's a good story, right? It's a good story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hey, you guys wanted me to tell it. You used to like me, you don't like me anymore? I'm sure I dabbed a dab again. I'm sure I did the dab, but I'll do another dab just in case. I'm sure I did the dab when he redeemed it. Unless he redeemed another one that I didn't see. But there you go. That's the story of the blue flame. You've all heard it. It's a good one of my favourites. And yeah. Cool. Oh wow, I am getting lucky with these arrow shots. I'm surprised I told that entire story while doing this minigame and messing up very few times. You must tell it again? Okay, yeah, so there was a boy on the bus on the way to school, and on the way to school there were two boys sat in front of him on the bus, and he heard them talking about a okay. See, so with my fiance, whenever I say the word, so there's a boy on the bus on the way to school, he like starts shoving his fist into my mouth, putting his fingers in his ears, screaming anything he can to get me to stop telling the story. All I gotta say is there's a boy on the bus on the way to school.